Debugging any program is an opportunity, but debugging AJAX is a real opportunity, and today I'm going to try to show you how to work through that. My name is Charles William Bill Marshall. I'm an adjunct instructor. If you need to contact me, there's my email address, and you can call that number during office hours. I will tell you that the best results are to set up an appointment so that we both are available at the same time and have time to focus on what it is we need to talk about. This is all part of CIT 253, a 3-credit-hour course, data-driven web pages. As always, Blackboard is the official site for assignments and to get and turn in assignments. But if you need additional information, there's an email, or rather a URL for a site that has supporting information. Alright, so the problem is you get to the point in the program where you know that there should be an AJAX call and nothing happens. And it would probably look something like this. So we know that the program we're trying to run is ship2load.php. But we also know that AJAX is passing in things, and so we can't run it from the URL. What to do? Well, we've talked about how you can put get parameters in the URL and test the code directly from a browser. But in the one we were just looking at, we weren't using get, we were using post. And because we're dealing with security, we know that we have sessions. So how can we get it to run from the URL in a browser? Well, the first thing we need to do is learn what the session parameters are. And since I wrote the code, I know that the really only session I care about is the user ID. And so if I put this code in the code that AJAX, the PHP that AJAX is calling, and we're echoing, and we're basically creating a DOS command since we're running in Windows, but this would work on Linux also. We're going to echo this string and equal to concatenating the variable session user ID, and then we're going to redirect it into a text file, and then we're going to execute it. So if we do that, we find out by looking at the output file that ship2load or user ID is equal to 13. Now, if I didn't really know which session variable I wanted, there's another way to do it, but before that we could just put this near the top and set session equal to user ID equal 13, and so when I run this from the browser, lo and behold, I have the session variable that I need set. What if we needed all the session parameters? Well, we could do same sort of thing, except we're going to encode the session variable and put it out into a text file. And if we do that, we get an output like that in our text file, so that we know that the email is root and the user ID is 13. If you wanted to set all those variables, you could, near the top of the PHP program, put in this line. But we know that we're passing my data, and it has the value of the array C_char val. How can we tell what that is? And we know what we think it is, but it's obviously not working, so what is it really? Well, if immediately before the AJAX call we have an alert JSON stringify that array, then it won't make our program look very pretty, but the calling program will tell us what it's getting ready to send. And there's another way to do that. We can, in ship2load, the called program, put in that we're going to put out and we're JSON encoding the value post and running it. And if we do that, we get a value that looks like this. And the importance of this is we know what we thought we were passing, but we can find out if that's what we're really passing. Because if this value doesn't include what we thought, then our program is back in the calling program, and we need to work on that until we can get this array to look like we want it to. Once we have that array, we can put this near the top of ship2load and set $_post equal to this, and now we can run the program from the browser. And why is that important? Because when we do that, it'll report any PHP syntax programs, and maybe you can type everything without any syntax problems. I can't. And it's really helpful to be able to find out, oh, I've got a syntax problem at line 47, and go work on that. The other thing you can do is put in echo statements like this so that you can find out what your SQL statement is. And while you've got that, you can go to another browser window and go to your MySQL and paste your SQL string into the browser and try to run it and find out if it does what you think it will do. Many times mine don't the first time, but this lets you continually refine, one, to find out what the select statements you need or insert or whatever, what the SQL you need is, and then you can repeatedly run the program until you get the PHP code to generate the values that you need. Now remember, all these echo statements and so forth will break a program that's calling the PHP via AJAX. So before you finish debugging, you need to go back and get to where only the return value is the only thing that's output by your PHP code. And that, I hope, helped give you an overview or some insight into how to debug AJAX PHP programs. If you have questions, that's my email address. Set up an appointment and I'll be glad to talk to you. If you have suggestions of what to add, you may have some insights of how to better debug. I would appreciate hearing them, and I would be glad to share them with the rest of the class members. Thank you.